Good evening, everyone. This is Pradeep, Ambassador of Change from GETI, the Global Education and Training Institute from Lucknow. We are the premier institute for training teachers and principals in India and several parts of the world. And we have many in-service and free-service programs. For more information on this, please go to 7408401000. Right now, you are on our disruptive education platform provided to us by our mentor, Dr. Sunita Gandhi. And on this platform, we have met with and interacted with more than 1,600 educators from India and all over the world. And this evening, we have for you Mr. Brahmakumar Balakrishnan. He's the Area Director, US District 80 from Singapore. He likes producing videos and teaching children Tamil and leadership. And he's a global speaker, facilitator, motivator. He has won various awards at club, area, and division levels, initiated, organized, and completed the 6 countries 12-hour table topics marathon on the 21st of August 2021. He has completed the 90-day public speaking video challenge. He's area director, US District 80, Toastmasters International, Tamil translations, reviewer at Toastmasters International, and 3-time distinguished Toastmaster Brahmakumar Balakrishnan. So thank you, sir, for being with us. And he will be speaking on education via public speaking. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Pradeep Mall, for that wonderful introduction. Could you see my slide? Now, education via public speaking. As we know, there are many ways of getting education. One is academic education, where we learn from textbooks or online or face-to-face. The other way, of course, is the non-academic education, where we learn visual art such as batik painting, calligraphy, writing, drawing. Then there's performing arts, dance, drama, music, speaking, and practical skills such as driving, cooking, martial arts, and so on. There are also other forms of education such as spiritual education, emotional quotient, and IQ. If you look at the goals of education, these are some of the things that we do. Number one, we build up knowledge. Over time, a person has enough educational knowledge or academic knowledge to perform a certain role in society. And to perform that role, they need to have that independent thinking where in any situation or environment, they are able to put on their thinking caps and handle the situation. Next, we also would like them to contribute to this family, to the society, to our nation, and if possible, also at the international arena. As a result of contributing to society, these individuals develop leadership skills, which teaches them how to handle situations, how to manage people with diverse thinking and diverse who come from diverse environments. If we look at the goals of public speaking, number one, it is there to boost a person's confidence so that the person is agile, bold, and confident enough to speak and convey their ideas and thoughts. Increasing listening skills. In order to be a good public speaker, we also need to observe and listen to what people are saying. Next, get the skills of enhanced thinking skills. When we listen to others and give our feedback, we need to structure it in such a way that we say the good things, say little of the areas to improve, and give them more input so that they can become better and one day the best. Next, thinking on your feet. Often we will have an environment at the office, in the public, or on the radio, on the TV, where we are suddenly called upon to say something and we need to be nimble, quick on our foot and say the right things. And finally, to develop leadership skills. If you look at this website, which lists 10 most important skills for 2023, you will know that out of the 10 skills that I'm sharing here, 8 of them requires public speaking skills. And that, my friend, is why I'm trying to share with you all the importance of public speaking today. Agile communication is a boon for professional and personal life. The way we put across our thoughts profoundly impacts the permanence of our ideas. It is only with these strong communication skills that one can convey his or her ideas. It is thus a valuable, future proof soft skill to learn. Moving on, the future expects rising competition and online noise. This will make it even harder to make our ideas heard. It is crucial to learn the skill to communicate with our co-workers and clients. And that's where Toastmasters International comes in. Toastmasters International has 300,000 members across 149 countries with 15,800 clubs. It started in 1924 by a gentleman called Ralph Smedley. Today, it has mushroomed, as I mentioned earlier, to so many clubs across the globe. And we learn many skills. Skills such as enhancing humor, how to give personal influence, motivational strategies, team collaboration, visionary communications. When you just look at these skills, you know these are relevant today, tomorrow, and in the future. And it is a skill we can learn. So, this is a very good form of educating ourselves to acquire a new set of skills. Let us now go into speeches. When we look at speeches, before we deliver any speech, we need to look at when, where, to whom, and why you need to give the speech. And depending on that, we decide the type of speech. Informational speeches, for example, you need to ask what, where, when, why, for whom, and how. And then you can add in the information. Storytelling is another set of skills that we need to know. And in storytelling, as usual, there is always a plot. There are characters, which means if there are more than one character, you need to use your voice. And then there will be a moral. And finally, there will be some twist in between the stories. That's the art of storytelling. Entertainment. You all know that jokes and anecdotes and the ability to make others laugh is an important requirement in society. And that's where we need to make use of our voice and our appearance. Think of Charlie Chaplin, think of Jerry Lewis. It's not only their voice, but their appearance that entertains us. Then we have a category known as special occasion speeches, speeches to motivate, speeches to inspire, speeches to be given at a wedding, at a graduation ceremony, at a funeral, and a keynote speech. For all these, you need to have the skills, isn't it? And knowing your content is not enough. You must know how to deliver it. And that's where we need to use our voice tone. Are you saying it in a engaging tone with passion, or are you saying it in a serious tone with sadness? Your pitch, is it a low pitch or a high pitch? And the volume, are you going to talk louder at some points and softer at some points to emphasize certain ideas? The speed, sometimes we need to speak fast and sometimes we need to speak slowly. That famous line from Julius Caesar where Mark Antony was told to speak, he starts with, "Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears." The first two words when he said was so soft that the audience had to come closer to listen to me. But later he picked up the pace and eventually turned the audience against the crowd. The mindless mob, they call it, against Brutus, and Cassius, who had viciously killed Julius Caesar. That is the power of using our voice. Posture. When we talk, we need to talk by looking at the screen, looking at the audience, showing that we are interested in them by looking at them. Eye contact is very important. Even in an interview, you need to look at the face and the eyes of the person who's interviewing you so that they know that you're being authentic and frank about what you're saying. Next, hand gestures are important, so are facial expressions. Imagine me telling you an exciting story, but my face is just normal. You will not be interested to listen to it. Body movements are important. Sometimes we need to look at the left, sometimes we need to look at the right, especially when we are in a face to face situation with a lot of people around, so that different segments of the audience are engaged. Posture, there are positive postures and negative postures, and there should be open communication and not closed like this. Imagine me talking about giving freedom on equal rights to women, and my hands are clasped like this throughout my speech. You would not feel comfortable with me saying this. But if, on the other hand, open up my arms and say, men and women are equal in society, therefore they go hand in hand to help our society become a better one. Giving women equal rights is really crucial at this point in our times. You can see the difference, how the open gestures have a greater impact. Next, not only is it important for us to have good content and know how to deliver, but our language is important. The words we use, the KISS principle, keeping it short and sweet. That's what's important. Avoiding words that have too many sentences. Avoiding too many words in a sentence, but reducing them to some is better. The active word. If I said Singapore was discovered by Sang Nila Utama, it does not have the same impact as Sang Nila Utama discovered Singapore. Synonyms. Instead of saying the same word again, he is happy, I'm happy, she is happy. Why not we say, I'm happy, she is glad, he is jubilant. Such words have greater power to entice and engage the audience. Avoiding jargon and cliches are important. Sometimes people use technical words and people don't understand what they're talking. Therefore, it is important to use simpler words. Cliches are words that are repeated again and again. At the end of the day, often they will say, then without much ado, these are words have been repeated so often that they get very monotonous. We need to use different words. Finally, ultimately, words like those have a different way of conveying the same thing. Using rhetorical devices such as he is as cool as a cucumber, she was as beautiful as Aishwarya Rai. Phrases like this bring in the audience and makes our speech more interesting. There are many other rhetorical devices, but in the interest of time, I shall not move on to them. There is another aspect of speech that is known as the impromptu speech, speaking off the cuff and speaking under fire. Those of them who are in the journalistic line, TV reporters, news reporters, they will know. They will suddenly come and flash the question to someone in the crowd. What do you think about this issue? And then we are all stuck, tongue tied. Our hands start shaking, our voice starts shaking, our legs start shaking. But in Toastmasters, we learn different ways of handling this. We can use a story, we can use the globe concept, the pendulum, the funnel, the perceptions, the clock, the prep, the Oreo, comparisons and contrasts, and even bridging. Just to give you an example, the Oreo is opinion, reason, example, opinion. For example, if you're saying that movies are not giving the right message to the audience, and you ask me this question, my opinion would be today's movies are not. Reason, there's too much of violence and gore in them. example, then I give example of a few movies, and then I go back to my opinion. Yes, today movies are giving the wrong values to society. Now, let me take it a bit differently. If I was using the pendulum technique, first I will say about the negative things, then I'll say the positive things, and then I'll come to a middle ground. If I'm using the globe, I'll talk about movies from India, Bollywood, Hollywood, Tollywood. Then I'll go to Hollywood, and I'll go to China. Then maybe I go to another foreign country and I compare how movies are conveying messages and are they really inculcating the right values. Now, if I again look at this topic and I look use the technique of the clock, I will look at movies in the past, movies in the present, movies in the future, and again come back to the topic. As you can see from these few examples, there are various approaches to just one situation or one topic that is given to you just off the cuff. That is something we are learning in Toastmasters in public speaking. Moving on, at every Toastmaster session, we have what is known as the feedback session, known as evaluation. And feedback is the breakfast of champions. So when we give feedback, we have to understand and try to quickly engage the trait or character of that person whom we are evaluating. Perhaps they need counseling. They had certain emotional baggages and we need to help them over time to overcome that. They could have a fear of public speaking because of that. Then there would be some who are improving themselves, but they need some guidance. So we mentor, we guide them, we work with them for 6 months, 1 year, and bring them to the next level. Then there's a group of people who are really very talented, but they do not know that they are so good. So we they are facilitators. We facilitate a change in their behavior, in the way they think, and help them to build up their self-esteem and become a better person. So, as an evaluator, we are actually giving feedback to others, and the skills of listening and trying to understand the character of the individual is very important. And this is something that public speaking gives to us. In addition, through public speaking, you can also learn leadership. At the Toastmasters International, we have leadership roles at a club, area, division, district, and so on. You transform from a speaker who's just speaking to everyone to a leader, an individual who's guiding, coaching, facilitating, counseling others to become better speakers. And in that process, you also become a trainer because you have learned over the years so many different things. You acquired so many skills and you have built up years of experience, and all these help you. That, in short, is my sharing session.
Thank you, sir, for that very interesting talk on what the Toastmasters do. And we have a question here.
Sure, sir.
How do you achieve good output where there are poor facilities or resources to use to teach students?
What I would always say is that don't look at what is not there, but what you have over there. If you have good teachers, people who can instill in you that confidence and boost your morale, many things can be achieved. You know, the example of APJ Abdul Kalam. He once went to a school and he asked the students, "What is the greatest enemy of India?" And a girl by the name of Sneha said, "Poverty." Mr. Late Abdul Kalam applauded her and used her in one of his books to inspire the youth of tomorrow. We need to instill in people that things can change. Look at my country. What it was 50, 60 years ago, and what it is now is a general transformation. And leaders came forward to transform the minds of individuals by inculcating positive thoughts, energizing them, making sure that they had the right environment, and so on. They always say, right, you can create a heaven out of hell and a hell out of heaven. So it does not mean that if all the right facilities, you will excel. Not necessary. It's all in the mind. If an individual thinks that they can one day talk across another country, as what happened to me, why not? It is possible. The 2 years or 2.5 years of COVID-19 has taught me that we can actually go overseas and speak to different people across diverse environments. And people are there hungry and eager to learn from us. And we are also there to learn from you. Any other questions, sir?
No, sir, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. And before we leave, I request you to watch our detox from our disruptive literacy program by Global Dream, which is an initiative again by Dr. Sunita Gandhi since 2014. The whole idea is to ensure everyone's participation by a people's movement to ensure India's foundational literacy and numeracy. And in this, we have several talks every day. And for more information on the talks that you might want to tune into, please go to 740-840-1000. Thank you, everybody. Good evening, goodbye, and see you again tomorrow. Thank you, sir, so much.
Thank you, sir.